Dudesit Journey. I am your host, the Reverend Phillip K., and I'd like to thank you all for tuning in today. To get us started off, before we get going, just like to remind everyone that Dudism is more of a philosophy, not so much a religion. That philosophy is the art of peace. It's known as modern-day Taoism. As there is an art of war, there is an art of peace. And that's what we try to practice here, dudes. It's what we're trying to do. So, now, before we get underway, I'd just like to say, sorry, I know, where have I been? It's been a while, dude. It's been one thing after another, man. I gotta tell you, my kids got sick and stuff happened and I was out of town. All kinds of stuff. But the main thing that's taken over my time, man, is that it was brought to my attention that this very podcast that you're listening to is considered an online ministry. Okay? So, I said, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try and get that tax-exempt status, right? So, I went ahead. I created a nonprofit corporation under religion, religious reasons. And so, I went and I figured out how to fill out the forms. And since I'm a small operation, I can do the 1023 easy form. Now, I know everyone says the 501c3 or whatever. That's just a section of the 1023 form. So if you have a physical location and staff and shit, yeah, you got to fill out the 40-page 1023. But I got to fill out the 1023 easy. It's only 4 pages. But I was looking around online about how to fill these out, and I stumbled across a document that is sent out to Baptist churches that tell them exactly how to file, exactly what to put, exactly what to say in order to get their tax-exempt status. So I just followed those same steps and just did it for Dudism. I have a couple of friends who are willing to help me. I got like my buddy Delphine. He's always like, hey, you got to do episodes and quality control, and you had some dips and problems here, and So, so I brought them in, put it on, and I got it, man. I fucking got it. I got tax-exempt status under a religious nonprofit corporation here. So congratulations, folks. You are part of the ministry, and you're part of the cause. We're going to start our own YouTube channel. I'm going to try to figure out where to do live. I don't know if TikTok or Twitch. I want to do YouTube Live, but YouTube Live says you can't until we have 50 subscribers, okay? So pretty soon, hopefully by the next episode, I'm going to have the YouTube channel up with some videos. I'm going to need you guys to go there and subscribe and shit so we can do some actual live shows. So I'm going to get back into recording, not just doing the voice, but actually recording video. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm figuring it out. We're going to do something, man. So, yeah, I've been dealing with a lot, trying to remodel here inside the house. Grab a drink, man. Grab a smoke with me here. I know I got my drink and smoke going on tonight. Now, I have a website up, revphillipk.com, and I didn't update it because I did this book signing. It wasn't really so much like a book signing. There was this big street fair event. So there's this comic book shop that I go to, Carpe Diem Comics in McKinney, Texas. The store is going to be closing on May 4th. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to compete and make it. So for this big street fair, they said we're going to open up the store and we're going to bring in a bunch of authors and a bunch of comic book creators and creative people and put tables out and kind of do like a con thing. So we said, okay, so they had a table for me. So I came and I brought my book, Nicholas of Myra, which we are going to hear an advertisement for later since Spotify won't let me advertise because they're fucking assholes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get things, I'm going to play that commercial for you later. So I go to this event with my book, Nicholas of Myra, and I'm in between 2 other authors. And these 2 guys I'm in between, one on my right, one on my left, fantasy authors, right? Each of them got like 9 books under their belt. I was like, holy fucking shit, It's like, I've got 4 and some comic books. And I'm like, this is nuts. So they had like whole series and shit. Here I am with my one little Nicholas book, hot. But as the day went on, I noticed they were doing pretty well. So I asked one guy, like, how many books you sell? And he sold 28. I was like, damn. I asked the other guy to my left, I said, how many you sell? He sold 30. I sold 3. I sold 3 fucking books. That was it. Now, once again, I'm in a comic book shop where people like to get sci-fi and fantasy shit. And those guys were selling fantasy, so there you go. I have to admit I was a little bit depressed about it. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just like, you know. And I, like, documented the whole day on, like, TikTok and Instagram fucking videos. And I don't like using the TikTok app because it flips everything. It does, like, this mirror shit. Instead, what I do is I record the video on my phone and then just upload it and then put in the little, you know, titles and music and shit. But it is, it's tough. I got to see Hector, man. Hector, he does the comic books, man. El Paso Hero and stuff. He's great, and so I got to talk to him. I'll chat with him a little bit because I want to try to do a pitch, man. I have a comic book, and I want to try to do a pitch to a local comic book publisher that's in previews. They work with Diamond, you know. They've got titles and stuff, so I'm going to try and talk with them and see what I can get. Because I've been with a lot of different comic book companies, a lot of indie mom and pop shops running out of their apartments and shit, and it never goes anywhere. It always falls apart, and I just got tired of it. And I'm like, I'm just self-publishing from now on, and that's what I'm doing. But with the comic, I'd like to be under a flagship. I'd like to be with a team. I'd like to put my comic out there and get that done. That's the goal. That is the goal. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Just trying to get to that. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So I've been trying to take it easy, man. I'm trying to take it slow, but I gotta admit, it kind of hurt. You know, kind of the whole thing was kind of, you know, kind of punched me in the balls there. And I knew I wasn't gonna sell that many books anyway, but it's just you go and you try and you keep pushing and you gotta do the marketing and blah, 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 blah. But all that aside, dudes, I'm just very happy and trying to stay more positive. I'm still miserable and shitty, and today of all days is tough because today would have been me and my late wife's 24th wedding anniversary. April 14th, man. I gotta tell you, all throughout the year, February 10th is when we started dating. April 14th is when we got married. Her birthday's in August. She died in December. Not a single fucking season without some sadness, man. Because that's the thing, man. This sadness is not going away. This misery is here to stay. It's part of my life now. And you go through trauma, it changes you, man. You are where you are. So that's what I'm doing, dudes. Right now, I'm trying to get through it, but I've had some tough times, and I've had some times where I've gotten angry. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about ways to conquer our anger, man. Because I know people that struggle with this. I got friends and family that struggle with this shit, man. I struggle with it. You know, I haven't slept since my wife passed away. I've had a good night's sleep, man. I'm tossing and turning. I'm up for hours. So, I've had some times where just, you know, I'm that type of person where, like, if I don't get sleep, I turn into a grumpy motherfucker. So, that's what's happening here. So, I'm like, okay, I got to conquer this shit. I got to get sleep, you know. And I'm very grateful for my in-laws who are living with me. They help. They'll let me get some rest and watch my kids and stuff. It's been tough. And I know that coming up, I'm going to be working some weekends, working some conventions, so I'm going to be gone. Oh, I got to plan and figure it all out, man. And I have all kinds of issues with anger. There's one... Let me tell you this one story. Okay. So, the Nintendo 64 was big. That's how long ago this was. I was a teenager. Now, my parents got it, and one of the games we got was Mario Kart. Now, Mario Kart, as you know, you can race or you can do a versus. And you get like 3 balloons and you're throwing shells at each other and you got to pop the other person's balloons, right? You got to hit their cart, pop the balloons, da-da-da. Win the thing. Now, I play with my brothers and sisters, very competitive, right? I'm competing against 4 other players constantly on different levels. So, a buddy of mine, who's never had a Nintendo before, gets a Nintendo 64 for the weekend, gets really good at Mario Kart, starts beating all these people at Mario Kart, people who don't really play that often, right? And then they hear that I'm good at Mario Kart. He hears about this, so he's like, you got to come to my house and play. Just want you to know I'm really good at this game. Like, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm like, okay, fine. So we're sitting in his room, and he's got it set up, and he's playing the Metallica Reload album, right? There's this one song on it called The Memory Remains. And if you remember this song, there's an old woman on the track that goes, nya, 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 nya. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right? It's just really annoying. It's really bad. So, right? But he's got this song on repeat because he thinks it's the only good song on the album. And I'm like, this is fucking terrible. So we sit down in his room and we start playing Mario Kart. I kick his ass like 40 games in a row. And every time I beat him, he is getting more and more pissed off, okay? He's getting more and more angry. And I'm just like, maybe we should stop playing. He's like, no, we're doing it again, right? And then, in the background, yeah, 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 yeah. So, like, I'm trapped in some level of hell here because it's just really uncomfortable. Finally, I let him win a game, and he got all like, yeah, there, see, I beat you. And I was like, yeah, you did great, so let's stop. And then he pauses, and he goes, wait, you let me win, didn't you? And I'm like, does it matter? And he's like, we're playing again. So I swear to God, one of the most uncomfortable situations, and homeboy just was not dealing with his anger. But I will never forget that goddamn song in my ear. Yeah, 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 yeah. God, that was terrible. I hate that fucking album. I hate that fucking. I can't hear that song. I cannot hear that song to this day. It's like flashbacks, man. I got PTSD from my buddy Matt and fucking Mario Kart. And I fucking love Mario Kart, man. But that's the complication, man. It's anger, man. That's what we're dealing with. Anger. So what is anger, man? Well, anger is an emotional state that varies in intensity from mild irritation to intense rage, according to the American Psychological Association. That's where I'm pulling information from. Because when it comes to anger and you look at religion, it's pretty much going to say, don't be angry or don't get angry. Even though there's plenty of times that God or whoever you're talking about gets angry. But in Dudeism, we're all take it easy. I mean, we have 2 main commandments, which is be cool and don't be an asshole. So when you're cool and calm and you got a level head, you don't get angry. And that's the thing, man. You have to control your emotions. You have to control your anger. If you can stay cool and calm and clear-headed through any situation, you got like a superpower, man. So that's what we're trying to do here. So let's do that with a little help from psychology today, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about a few different things about anger so we understand kind of the level where we're at here. Like, there's causes, okay? And then there's expressing and suppression and people who are easily angered. And then we're actually going to get into some tips and tricks that can help us to combat and control our anger, okay? Now, what causes anger, okay? Well, sometimes there's something external, like a person or an event. Someone's being an asshole, or it rained on your fucking parade, right? Sometimes it's internal. Sometimes it's worry, trauma, feelings, Not getting enough fucking sleep. It's stuff like that comes along, and so it really has you, like, questioning, Now, how do we express anger? Well, usually, sometimes that anger, it's like a response to a threat. So we're trying to defend ourselves, right? But we live in a world where you can't hit people or attack people just because they annoy you, okay? Unless, of course, you're a delivery driver who's trying to get some food at a mall, and a YouTuber's got his phone in your face, and you tell him to back away, and the YouTuber doesn't, and then you shoot him. Legally, you could probably get away with that because some dude did. I don't know, it was Iowa or some shit, but that shit actually happened. Yeah, you got to back up with the phones, man. All right, so that's expressing anger. How can we express it? Okay, because we have to find a way to let that anger out. It can't just bottle up, right? Because that leads to suppression. Now, anger suppressed will convert and redirect, right? And it can be really destructive. You can, be hating on someone or giving someone a lot of shit that doesn't deserve it. You're taking it out on somebody else, all right? Not to mention, if you suppress anger, it can lead to hypertension, high blood pressure, and even depression. So, not really good to suppress, okay? All right? And when you have unexpressed anger, that will create more problems, okay? Passive aggressiveness, you'll be real cynical, hostile, overly critical, unsuccessful in relationships. It doesn't go well, man. It doesn't go. So you have to kind of work and create this anger management, all right? You have to reduce the arousal, all right, that causes the anger, all right? Because sometimes you can't control it. Sometimes it goes nuts. So you have to learn how to control your reactions. All right, so let's talk a little bit about folks that are easily angered. Everyone knows at least three or, we got a few of these, right? These people that if any little fucking thing happens, all of a sudden they blow the fuck up, man. You know anybody like that? I know somebody I know a few fucking people like that. Some people right now are like, shit, my fucking dad, right? No doubt, man, no doubt. So, that's the thing is, how do you handle anger, man? Well, first, man, you got to recognize the problem, okay? And then work towards a solution. Focus on the solution, not the problem. I don't give a shit who spilt the milk. I just give a shit how we're cleaning it up, okay? Now, we have people out there that we know that are hot-headed, right? They get angry really easily. They'll curse and throw things. They'll withdraw. They have a very low tolerance for frustration and inconvenience, okay? I mean, even if you correct them, they get all fucking pissy and shit. Now, how does that happen? Well, some are born that way, unfortunately. They're just angry at an early age. Some, they were taught by their parents. They come from angry families, They had a parent or someone who was angry all the fucking time. So when that anger is triggered, you got to develop strategies to keep the anger at bay. And so we're going to go into these steps. Now, how many steps are there here? Let me see here. I had to write this on a couple different pages, dudes. Okay, so 7. All right, we got 7 steps here. And then we're going to get into maybe a little more philosophical. But let's talk about these 7 steps from the American Psychological Association, dudes, okay? What's the first technique to battle anger? Relax. Take it easy, man. Do some deep breathing. Watch a funny fucking cartoon or some shit. I don't know. Stretch. Take a walk. Okay? Relax. Okay? Relax. Listen to my voice and I'll tell you to relax. Relax. One time I went to this psychiatry appointment and they put me in a dark room in a chair, a big oval egg-shaped speaker chair, and they played a video with a bunch of nature, and it was just a voice saying, relax. Oh, God, it was creepy. I fell asleep, though. So, guys could say it worked. All right, but so relax, man. That's the first technique we got to do, man. Relax. Now, I know it sounds easy, but it's not. It can be tough, all right? So, but there's a few things I listed. The deep breathing, the stretching, the walking, Shit, smoke some weed, do something, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do, mama. Now, that gets into the second technique. Let's talk about the second technique here to control anger. Cognitive restructuring. Well, that's some fancy words. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? It says you have to replace the thoughts of doom with, okay, it's frustrating and upsetting, but it's not the end of the world. and getting angry won't fix it, okay? So this is like mental responses for when you get angry, like stuff you got to tell yourself when it happens. You got to notice the trigger. When the trigger happens, you got to remind yourself, hey, yelling and screaming isn't going to fix the situation, okay? Yelling and screaming isn't going to clean up the milk, okay? Getting some fucking towels is going to clean up the spilt milk, okay? So one of the things I want to point out is that logic defeats anger, okay? We all want fairness, all right? Okay? We all want to agree, okay? So maybe let's not demand them, all right? Frustration, pain, it's a part of life. You know, we all don't get what we want, but that's okay. And sometimes it's probably for the best, you know? Maybe there's a way to kind of, maybe it's not the right time yet, you know? At least it's, you know, one way to think about it. But the point is, man, you gotta stop yourself. You just gotta stop yourself there for a second, okay? And remember to think. Think. Is it worth it, okay? Because think about the trauma you had in your life. I mean, my dad would blow up on your ass for breaking any little fucking thing or doing this and that. I mean, fucking shit. It was nuts. He always made us feel like this, you know, like a piece of shit because we broke something, you know, because we had, you know, we were broke. We were financially strapped. And so sometimes living with my dad, it was like walking on fucking eggshells, dude. And that affects you, you know, it fucks you up a bit. And you have to do some cognitive restructuring, okay? That's what we got to do, man. And when we do that, that can lead us into the third step, which is problem solving, okay? Now, sometimes anger's natural, and it's, you know, even a healthy response, you know, but you got to focus on the solution, not the problem. And I tell this to people all the time. Focus on the solution. What's the solution? We can bitch about the problem all fucking day long. We can talk about the problem forever. What's the solution? Okay? I don't want to hear your complaints. I want to hear your ideas. Let's fix it. You know what I mean? And that can help lead into step number 4, which is better communication, okay? And sometimes our conclusions are inaccurate, you know? Sometimes we got some bad info or the wrong information. We're jumping to conclusions and shit, okay? So slow down when you get heated, dudes. Slow down, all right? Maybe stop and listen to the other person. Think carefully, okay? Because you have to remember that words are powerful, man. Words, they can save a life or end a life. Words can create war, or they can create peace, man. Power of words, man. You got to remember this. Words are powerful, all right? For some folks, shit, it's the only weapon they have. But as we go and we use that better communication to listen and to understand and to figure it out, you know, a solution to the problem, okay? As we go through that, one way to kind of help, and I use this, a lot of people use this. Every stand-up comedian uses this to deal with anger and pain, and that is humor, okay? I have used humor to diffuse tense situations multiple times. It has worked all the fucking time, okay? You use some silly humor, and it'll diffuse the debate, and people can kind of laugh and kind of relax and ease up for a bit, and then we can find a solution. Okay? All right. Which leads us then into tip number 6 here, man, for battling and controlling your anger, and that is change the environment. Okay? Sometimes you just need a little quiet from the kids and the craziness and all that. Sometimes you need a little personal space away from your partner, okay? We all need our alone time. We value that alone time. And we try and do it in different ways. Me, I used to go to like a diner and get breakfast by myself. That's the way that I kind of like take a break and get out of it. I mean, yeah, you can get some alone time when the kids are gone, but if you're still at home, there's still demands and shit at home that are happening. I try to get away from everyone, get away from everything, just go to like a little restaurant, little breakfast place. It's nice, and just have some fucking breakfast. Because the one thing I hate, man, is being the head chef in-house, man, it sucks, okay? I'm a single parent, so I got to do all the cooking. Now, I used to have this kind of passion and flair for it, and I was picking up tips and tricks from all these pros, trying to make really good meals. But I got to a point now, it's, with everything being on me now, that was when, I was married. I had a partner. I had someone else to help out with things. Now it's all on me. So I don't have the same time and focus to put into it. And it's kind of suffered, it's like we're eating the same shit all the fucking time. So got to work on that. But that's where tip number 7 of dealing with your anger comes in, which is ease up on yourself. Okay? We're all pretty hard on ourselves. I know I am. All right? I'm always trying to fucking, hit 100 every time. That's too tough, man. It's really tough to try and do that. We all have goals, and we set these standards for ourselves. And sometimes those standards, we can't hit them right now. We will, but we can't hit them right now, Me going to a comic book store trying to sell religious historical fiction, it's like, it's not really going to work. It's not going to go that well. I'm not going to sell, every book that I've got, but it's like right there that, tells you something there. But I got to ease up on myself, man, because once again, think of the timing, all right? Okay, maybe you're not having a good day. Maybe you're too tired, all right? So maybe this isn't the time to deal with it. So ease up, back up for a little. Maybe work on the issue later, all right? Try to avoid the triggers, man, until you've got like a good solid perspective on how to solve the situation, okay? This is where that alone time helps, all right? Think of alternatives, man. If traffic makes you angry, find another route or take a fucking train or something. Try a different way that can help get away from the anger, okay? And at the end of the day, there's always counseling, okay? Because if anger is impacting your life, seek help, man. It's okay. I'm talking to a fucking counselor. I don't know when the next appointment is. I forgot. But the thing is, dudes, you can get out there and you can do it, man. Find someone and get some help. Because as I said in Dudesit, it's all about don't be an asshole. And when you're angry, you're always an asshole. And no one wants to hang out with an asshole, man. Fuck that shit. Right? Now, if you look at like some other religions, like, okay, so you look at Islam, okay? Muhammad, man, he got angry, over prayer time being too long, okay? Jesus in Christianity, man, he was whipping vendors for selling at the Holy Temple, man, Moses, come on, man, he was throwing, with the commandments and stuff at the false idols and everything. He threw the 10 commandments at the false idol and blew it up, dude, okay? So everyone's got anger, right? Even the friggin' prophets over here and stuff, they got anger, man. And if you remember my first episode about forgiveness, you have to remember to not just forgive the other person, but forgive yourself, dudes. Forgive yourself. Okay? You're human. You're not immortal. We're not superheroes. Even if some people see us as such. We're human. Okay? And all those faiths that I just mentioned, Islam and Christianity and Judaism, they all condemn anger. But yet all of their messiahs and prophets and messengers of God have gotten angry at some point. We're not free from it, man. No one's free from it. So, control it. Okay? Use these tips and tricks to control it. Take some time for yourself. Do meditation. Do counseling. Separate yourself. Chill the fuck out. Take it easy. Focus on the solution. You can do this, dudes. You absolutely can do this. How do I know? Because I did it. And I'm not the greatest, smartest person in the world. I'm trying to be. You try to hit, like I said, I'm trying to hit 100 every day, man. Some days I hit it. Some days I don't at all. I don't even come close. But I get up and I keep trying. Just like, sucks I didn't sell any books. I could get angry at the whole thing, but I could be like, you know what? Hey, wasn't the right place, wasn't the right time, wasn't the right event. But hey, I sold a couple. I sold 3 books. Better than 0. It's like, shit, it's something. And so you just take it and you move on. Now, I can get angry at the place, and I can get angry at the people, and I can get angry at this, but the fuck's that gonna do, man? Just cause more problems. Problems I don't fucking need. Problems you don't fucking need. We got enough problems. Speaking of which, I'm trying to remodel my bathroom. It's been going pretty slow because, like I said, I've had a ton of stuff going on. I'm trying to do a million things. It's been kind of crazy. I didn't realize all the other ins and outs and interested parties and stuff, man, when you start a nonprofit religious organization. I even had to get one of those like workers' right posters that show you the minimum wage and all that shit and all the laws and everything on it. I had to get one of those. I had to get one, and I have to post it up at the here in my home studio, which is my closet. But hey, since my home is technically the address of the church, it's the headquarters for the online ministry here. I probably could get it in the name of the corporation and not have to pay taxes on it anymore. That'd be pretty fucking sweet. Rip a page out of Joel Osteen's book, man. So come, and thanks for being a part of it, man. I'm talking with a bank on Tuesday. I'm gonna get an account for it because when you have a nonprofit organization, there's different accounts and different options and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna set up a PayPal account so we won't have to pay fees and taxes and stuff. And what am I gonna do with the donations? Well, a portion is gonna go to keeping the show on, web space and hosting and equipment and everything. But the majority of the money, and I can tell you this, like easily 50% or more of the money I take in is going to go to low-income schools in Texas. Texas is where we're based at, so I want to try and help Texas first. Be kind of silly to be raising money for another low-income school when there's one right here, next to me. So that's the goal, is to give over 50% or more of everything we take in and put it towards low-income schools. Which there are more than you think. I've been discovering myself. There's a reason your school is having another charity drive where you got to buy cookie dough or some shit. Me, I just said, fuck it. I went to the office and was like, here's the money. I don't need fucking cookie dough, okay? I'm trying to lose weight, not gain it, so here. Just take the money, give me a tax receipt, I'll go write it off. Everybody's happy. So that's what we're trying to do, because I discovered that most churches only give about 10% of what they make to outside organizations to help the poor, help the local communities. It's only about 10%. So I said, well, let's try to do 50, man. Let's try to do half of everything. Because once again, man, I don't have a big building. I don't have a ton of bills, a bunch of overhead. It's just me and microphone and what I got set up here. And yeah, would I like some help paying with web hosting and the bills and the bullshit I'm dealing with Spotify? Yes, it would help. And taking that and then being able to do the rest to the schools out here in Texas would be a big help, because Texas doesn't spend as much per student as some states do, and so I'd like to try and get those numbers up. It would be a big help to them. And some move to the, let's try to get some money to the food pantries, man. Folks are dependent on those, so families are, and every little bit helps. So that's what I'm trying to do, man. So welcome to the church, brothers and sisters. If anyone says any shit, oh, you didn't go to church? Oh, I went to church. I have an online church. And it's a podcast, and I can listen to it whenever I want. And then, you can contribute, you can give tithings, and there's a YouTube channel, but you know, I'll let you guys. I was postponing recording because I was gonna wait until I got everything ready, but I'm like, screw it, let's just record and let everyone in the loop and let you know. So, like I said, I'm going to have a YouTube link soon for the new YouTube page. Instead of putting the episodes on my page, I'm going to put them on YouTube's this new channel that's completely dedicated. And I'm going to try and cut up, make some clips, and do some 1-minute videos so we can go live, and hopefully we can get 50 subscribers. So I'm hoping you all will help me out with that, and we'll keep this moving. And know that every dollar you send me is tax deductible. Hey, all right. So if you don't want your tax dollars going to certain things that the current administration is doing, then hey, give your money to me and it'll go straight to the local schools. All tax deductible. From my IRS tax recognized nonprofit corporation religious organization. Or some bullshit. All right, so why don't we think about that, man? Why don't we take this advice here from the psychologists of the world, and let's just meditate. Think about what I've said, and think about how you can use this in your life. So we're going to take 5 minutes of just silence right now, just a little. You take this time to have a drink, have a break, maybe meditate a little bit, pray if you want to, and just think about how we can find ways that we can control our anger, man. All right, so here we go, dudes. We're going to start that 5 minutes, and we're going to start it right now. I hope these tips about anger will help you. They've helped me, so hopefully they will definitely give you a couple of little tips and tricks that you can do to help yourself along the way. And remember, hey man, don't beat yourself up. Even Jesus got pissed off. But while you're out there dealing with all the craziness of life, man, I hope you take it easy. Because when you take it easy, the dude abides. Thanks for tuning in, and please wait till after the music so you can hear my 1-minute commercial that I have to cut down to 30 seconds and 15 seconds. But if you want to hear my 1-minute voiceover commercial that I think I've played before, but stay tuned after to hear it, all right? Thanks a lot, dudes. Talk to you later.
From author Reverend Phillip K. comes your next must-read book, Nicholas of Myra, a novel available on Amazon. In Nicholas of Myra, a novel, immerse yourself in the life of the man we all know as Santa Claus. From the loss of his parents to being raised on a farm by his uncle, Nicholas's early life was marked by challenges. His journey led him to the Christian temple in Myra, where he became bishop in a time when Christianity was forbidden in the Roman Empire. Experience Nicholas's profound strength as he faces arrest, persecution, and the unimaginable loss of his loved ones. Despite being tortured and imprisoned, his unshakable faith and his message of love, compassion, and generosity shine as a beacon through the darkness. Nicholas of Myra, a novel, is a journey through history, revealing the roots of Christmas and its traditions. It's a story of faith that endures against all odds. Available in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited. Nicholas of Myra, a novel from author Reverend Phillip K. Order your copy right now and discover the story of a lifetime.